Is proud to present the Budweiser 5-Star Karate Championships. This is the 1986 Bluegrass Nationals, coming to you from the Commonwealth Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Grant. Welcome to our telecast. We're delighted you're with us. Our expert analyst is Harry Krebs, the founder and director of the North American Karate Conference. Harry, this will probably be the first exposure to many people of professional karate as a sport. They're going to see a lot of action.
Well, I'll tell you, Steve, it's long overdue that professional karate has been brought to the general public, and we're really pleased that we're able to televise this and bring it to the nation. Tonight we have some great competition. We have the British champions against the Budweiser national karate team, and it's going to prove to be some great competition.
We also have men and women competitors and some great demonstrations, and this man, he knows his stuff. He's a 25-year martial arts expert and black belt, and we'll be back to bring you all the action from back fists to hook kicks right after this. Stay with us in Louisville.
In a series of live ESPN kickboxing extravaganzas. 3 main bouts featuring super heavyweight bad Brad Hefton, world heavyweight champ Jerry Rome, and the battle for the U.S. middleweight crown. All live on the same fabulous...
With Harry Krebs, this is Steve Grant welcoming you back to the Bluegrass National Championships here in Louisville. And now the main event, the team competition. And those individuals in the completely white gis are members of the British All-Stars, known as Free Fight 87.
You know, Steve, this is the first time that these guys have been to the United States to compete, and they're really, really psyched.
Speaking of psyched, the crowd is getting that way now, as the musical introduction is about to begin for the Budweiser national team. They'll come charging out right now, to the delight of this crowd. This is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, you know, this team was chosen because of how they were rated nationally. Each member of the team is rated in his own particular region, and they are literally the finest in America.
And you see the goodwill that is promoted by this sport between teams and countries. One man not on the Budweiser team tonight is team captain Toki Hill. Now, Toki had a recent injury and is unable to compete. However, he is able to give us a special report on how to score in this competition.
3 basic hand techniques. Number 1, back fist strike. Number 2, ridge hand strike. Number 3, reverse punch. 3 basic feet technique. Number 1, front snap kick. Number 2, side snap kick. Number 3, roundhouse kick. Also legal in tonight's competition, takedowns, which must be followed up immediately with a counter.
Toki, we're sorry you're unable to compete because of your injury, but we're delighted you're joining us here for some expert commentary as we have our first match in the team competition. This is Steve Perry with the red trousers on his gi for the American team, the Budweiser national team, against Jerry Fleming, who you see right there for the British All-Stars Free Fight 87.
You know, we should comment on how the scoring really takes place. There are 4 corner judges and 1 center referee, and you need a unanimous vote to actually have a point scored.
Or majority of 3 anyway.
Majority of 3.
Toki, I notice a lot of counter-punching by the British fighter Fleming against Perry. Even when Perry comes in with a kick, he counter-punches with a reverse punch.
Yes, I think that's his forte. He's very quick. He has great timing. I think he's going to have a lot of problems here with Steve. Steve's a very strong, aggressive kicker. As you can see him driving them kicks in strong. He's trying to sidestep and counter. Steve has that versatility, that lateral movement to follow Jerry. I think Jerry has to get on that bicycle and start moving. There's that counter punch.
Looked like he had landed a kick, but it was blocked.
Some very strong front kicks by Steve Perry.
Exactly. Jerry has to get on that bike. He's got to start moving. He has great counter punches, but he's trying to block them techniques instead of using that lateral movement. Steve is so strong, he's forcing it right through the block.
We're tied at 1.
There's that strong technique again.
Nice takedown also.
We should point out that this is cumulative scoring. The match will have all the scoring from each round totaled up for the complete team winners.
I believe Steve Perry just scored on a back fist. Excuse me, a reverse punch.
Steve Perry, 31 years old, won a 3-month lesson at a judo dojo and decided to take up full-time karate, and look where it's gotten him, to the national team.
Jerry Fleming is one of 3 of the British all-star team that is current on the World Championship team.
The thing is, though, they're not used to fighting in American open competition. They're used to what is known as the wuko rules. Is that correct, Toki?
Yes, straightforward fighting. They're going to have a lot of trouble, I feel, today with the Budweiser national team because, number 1, their experience, and number 2, their ability to use that lateral movement. Their versatility, they can kick and punch, and strong techniques.
This first round has now come to a conclusion with Jerry Fleming of the Free Fight 87 British All-Stars and Steve Perry opening this competition. And after the first round, we have it 5-3 in favor of the Budweiser national team, with Steve Perry an outstanding job in the opening round. And as we continue to move right on up in the matches, we're going to see a very, very interesting fight right now. The man in the all-white gi is Vic Charles, the captain of the British All-Stars. This is a man with vast experience and a lot of exciting moves. And Vic's opponent is Terry Kramer.
You know, you have to watch Terry Kramer. Terry Kramer has a very, I call it like, it's like a change-up pitch. It's a back fist, and it looks like it's coming to you in slow motion, but in reality, he's sticking it to you all the time. And I don't think Vic is used to that type of movement. Is that correct, though?
Yes, Vic Charles has probably more versatility than any other member on the free fight team, but he's got his hands full with Terry Kramer. Terry Kramer has the ability to close that distance so fast. Not only is he a well-rounded athlete, he's a world-class sprinter. He has great timing.
Talk about his sprinting speed. He did a 9.400. That man's fast.
You can see that counter-punching ability of the free fight team once again. Vic Charles just come underneath with a reverse punch there.
You know, when we were talking about Keith before doing the kata, we were talking about the Chinese versus the Japanese as far as circular motion is concerned. In fact, Terry is a Chinese stylist, and you'll see some very nice circular movement here when he fights.
And we have a timeout for an equipment adjustment. As you know, Toki, you can explain a little more about the padding they wear on their feet and hands.
Well, you know, it's mainly to protect the athletes. We're after the safety for the athletes. The feet pad are mainly to cover the top of the foot, where the hands cover the knuckle part. It opens up so you can grab and use the feet for takedown also.
The equipment is really to protect oneself as opposed to protect the opponent.
Oh, the quickness with the back fist put on there by Terry Kramer. Whoever gets to the open first is going to score, and he showed you a perfect example of that right there.
Yes, Steve, I think he's controlling his fight real well. He's got his composure, he's moving around, he's waiting for Vic to counterpunch, but it never happens.
Vic Charles is also the coach of the British team, is that correct, Doug?
Yes, currently Vic Charles is also the wuko World Heavyweight Champion. A tremendous amount of experience.
1, 2, 3, play. 1 point.
And Kramer gets that point.
I'd like to point out that the coaches of the Budweiser team are Chuck Merriman from Niantic, Connecticut, and Joe Palazzo from Pikesville, Maryland.
2 of the top coaches in the country.
Well, Chuck, as a matter of fact, coached you to a world championship title, is that correct?
Yes, in 1980 in Madrid, Spain.
And as the second round concludes between Kramer and Charles, the United States has increased its lead to 8-4. So the man with the Master of Science and Safety Management, Terry Kramer, continues to increase the lead. Stay with us. More action is next.